We're back. Hi, guys. I forgot one important thing, which is to show off my t-shirt, which I got on Dungeon Glitch. So shout out. I forget exactly their Twitter handle. I think it's at Dungeon Glitch, Matt, but I don't. Yeah, I think it's at Dungeon Glitch. But it's super cool. They have really cool nerdy designs like this, which you can't quite see, but it says bisexual tiefling vibes, which, fuck yeah, if there ever was a shirt made for me, it's that.
It is at Dungeon Glitch, no space.
She does like playing tieflings.
I identify as a bisexual tiefling.
Or a tiger. Depends on
yeah, it depends. Yeah,
that's
both.
true. That's true.
Both. How about a bisexual tiefling druid
with tiger stripes?
Yeah, with tiger, exactly.
With tiger, yeah. There we go. Let's do that. All right, this is not the episode. Hi, guys. Go for it. Take it away.
All right.
So there we were.
There we were. In space. The end.
Cool.
No.
Good game,
we're going
guys.
to start
Yay.
as one of the ending scenes ended last time. And Taya throwing the Starfinder badge across a small table where Zeha and Taya are meeting.
I was not ready for this. Hi. Yep. I'm Zeha. Yep. I know my voice. Let's just go for it. It's been
Righto, there it is.
Just step into it. Just walk your way in.
Smooth as
Harry?
syrup. Okay, so we're just trying to remind myself we're at this like bar or somewhere in like a booth to ourselves, and she just
we'll call it a little dive bar. It's pretty like there's like not many people in there. Basically service and one other person.
Okay. And she just put it on the table and didn't say anything.
She kind of like tossed it towards you, not in like just like rolling it across the table, and she just brings her head up and like stares at you.
I kind of just look at it. It's a legitimate Starfinder badge, right? Just a quick kind of glance over for what I've seen.
Give me a perception check.
Sure. Oh gosh, where's that? Found it.
Probably
15.
on your character sheet.
Where is that?
Yeah, you look over it real quick. Looks like a Starfinder badge.
I just like, my eyes kind of flicker down to it, and then I look back up at her. All right. Do you care to explain?
Well, you called the meeting. I was hoping you would. I feel like this is what it's about. Kind of like tapping her finger on the table.
Well, I happen to be curious as to what a member of the Starfinder Society is doing on the Ramson 10 Council.
You see a small smile go across her face. Well, Arvin knows about your recent insight to the Ramson 10, and he knew, I'd say, before you joined.
Just to clarify, what do you mean incident? What'd you say?
Insight, like you're looking ins to the Ramson 10.
And this is
like basically, sorry, like he basically knew like everything that like you're coming from the Ramson 10, you joined the Starfinder Society, now you're looking into, like you were looking into the Starfinder Society for the Ramson 10, now you're kind of doing the opposite, like.
Gotcha.
She didn't say all those words, but like you can kind of surmise that, like she's explaining that Arvin is in the know about you.
I'm well aware that Arvin's aware. It's the Ramson 10 that I kind of look at the badge and her unaware.
They are. I've been spying for some time now. Not the entire time I've been on the council.
And why?
I would say the beginning, the catalyst, if you would, was, she kind of brings her hands down, smiles. You. He figured one of each, you know?
And you were just so willing to turn your back on the Ramsenton?
I've never really had my front towards them. They aren't the society they used to be. I had hoped to make them better. And now I'm hoping to make some credits.
She kind of outright, like, scoffs at that. I'm aware they're not the organization that they used to be. I, too, have hopes of making them better. However...
And I hope you do.
The fact that you're a council member speaks different of your allegiances, and I don't think that that is in the Ramsenten's best interest, given that, like I said, I am looking to improve.
I don't see why it's not in their best interest. I report on their dealings to the Starfinder Society. I get paid. If they don't have dealings that are adverse to the Starfinder Society, who cares?
You do understand how the Ramsenton operates.
Yes.
An information leak is the exact opposite of helpful. And additionally, anything you mentioned just now is absolutely useless to the Ramsenton. I don't see how it's beneficial to them.
Do you trust the Starfinder Society?
No.
Do you trust the Ramsenton?
No.
Then why does it matter?
Because I wish to improve the Ramsenton.
She nods a little, and you see her reach back over for the Starfinder badge. Gets it in her hands, kind of looks at it for a second. Well, Arvin wants you to be in on this.
Why would I?
Well, if you want my humble opinion, prospective Madaloon, probably the best chance to make the Ramsenton what you want it to be.
I, like, put my hands down on the table and, like, fold them, like, to show all four. I have 4 hands. And just kind of, like, basically change my posture to show that, like, I am listening, but need convincing. Like, let's start with your definition of better and end with how.
Well, for that, I'll need just one answer from you. What is your ideal Ramsenton? Better yet, what's your ideal Adari? Is it here? Is it elsewhere? Is it taking over Absalom Station and ruling the Pact?
The Adari is more than just the Ramsenton, and I simply want the Ramsenton to do what my grandmother taught me. It should be a source of information for educated decision making to ensure the Adari's continuation, whatever that continuation means for the Adari.
And if the Adari has stopped listening?
There is, like, a look of confusion that crosses her face, that kind of, like, even though she's had so much poise and everything, like, you know, this is deeper than, like, anything she's done before, and, like, you can tell she's slightly out of her element. Sorry. And she's kind of just like, the Ramsen 10 has a seat at the council of the Adari. Whatever term the council is called, I forget.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the council. Like, I actually like.
Okay, I'll double check. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, 1 seat.
Well, one voice can be very influential if used correctly.
I don't disagree. And maybe the next Madaloon's voice could. Currently, I can assure you, through my own efforts, I know they are not being listened to.
Of course not. And my mother's the temporary Madaloon taking the seat. She's not the Madaloon, but she's taking the seat, right?
Yeah, she's not the Madaloon, not even like temporary Madaloon, but she is taking the seat.
Right. Trust me, I am not blind to my mother's lack of finesse.
She smiles for a second. Are you not? You're not blind to anything she does? If anything, I would say she is probably the biggest part of the problem.
All right. Enough games. What are you seeing that needs to be stopped, and how does the Starfinder Society supposed to have any influence in this?
You see her start to answer, and then she throws her hand up for a drink. Would you like anything? It's gonna be a combo.
Sure.
And she changes her hand to 2. They get brought. She slides one to you.
I cast detect magic.
It is perfectly fine.
And I do it with a smile, I'm not trying to hide this, but my headband glows and I swirl the drink and then take a sip.
For sure.
Cast detect poison.
You're dead.
Got her.
She smiles and nods as if I understand. The Ramsen 10 are split on this. But the Adari is looking to leave the Pact Worlds.
That's been in discussion for hundreds of years. What makes this any difference?
There's a large difference between discussion and plans, especially plans that are present at the last 3 council meetings.
And the Starfinder's influence?
They're mixed currently. They don't want the Adari to leave the Pact. It's a good trade resource. The Kasatha bring a lot to the culture of the Pact, the Starfinders believe. What they're more mixed on is whether or not to attempt to look for a reason to bring what many would call the best of the Kasatha, the Ramsen 10. If the Starfinders want to bring them on board, if the Adari were to leave.
What do you mean on board?
As part of the Starfinder Society.
To have a bead on the Adari wherever it goes?
I'm not sure. You could ask Arvin that. I'm sure he would tell you, but my understanding is he wants a very specialized group. I don't think he cares about the Adari if they plan to leave. It is some group with specialized skills, very good at what they do.
We are very good at what we do. For the Adari.
Is it for the Adari? She smiles a little, thinking.
It will be when I'm Madeline.
You see her kind of like down half of her drink and like look up to one of the random lights in this very shady dive bar.
You just told me that the Starfinder Society has no real interest in the Adari and rather just wants to use the Ramsenten's skill that was built for and developed for and from the Adari. Kasatha...
I told you. She interrupts you. I told you that they would love for the Adari to stay. But, risk assessment, it would be very hard to have them stay.
I am not yet in the meetings. I do not know what is being discussed or the reasons why the Adari is planning on leaving.
I can tell you. Would you like to know?
I have a feeling that might be a biased view, but go ahead.
Sure. They've been meeting with a Lashunta recently. And it seems that she is in the ears of many council members. That's when the plan started. There are behind-the-wall rumors of wars and conquering within the Vast to build strength and come back to the Pact.
A Lashunta woman?
Yes.
Describe her.
Green, pretty. Talks like you.
Well, then it can't be Nanal. Just kidding.
Not the accent.
Shoot her!
And
She's British.
this wouldn't be the same Lashunta that Arvin had us escort?
Possibly. I know nothing of that, but that's an interesting development to note down.
I just kind of like flash her a smile.
Escort to the Adari.
Was that a question?
Yes.
I smile. Well, that is interesting indeed, and honestly cause for concern. I think a conversation with Arvin is necessary as well. Nonetheless, I think that perhaps the council seat is not best fit for you.
That would be your decision if you were the Madaloon. If you wish to bring it up, then I'll make sure to speak to Arvin about your spot in the Starfinder Society.
Technically, I think I have what I need for my tempering.
Very well. Let me know your decision. She kind of pats the table a couple of times, goes to stand up.
We'll be in touch.
She gives you a very sarcastic bow and then heads out.
There is this like trained like surveying, waiting for them to leave, checking the coast, checking everything, and then she lets out this like really like shaky like, I have a lot to digest, so I'm going to sit here with this drink for probably like the next hour and think.
And while you're digesting, Tetsu.
No. Ah! Sorry.
I get to kill Nanal.
You're on a transport ship back to the Pact with Dr. Dura.
Yes. Yes, I am. Is this like just after we left?
It can be whenever you want. You're gonna have 1 to 2 conversations before you get back to the Pact. So like,
Okay.
whether it's now or it's been 4 days, it doesn't matter.
How long is it back? Well, it's to Absalom, so isn't it like pretty quick?
Yeah, it's like
1d4
1d6 days.
Oh, D6.
Okay. Yeah, so basically after getting onto the ship and just kind of sitting there to rest a bit and kind of letting myself patch myself up, I would probably this conversation would probably take place in well, he would text Crick and over comms and be like, I'm coming back to Absalom. I'm going to need your help. I know your contacts are questionable and I need them. If you could help me with some dangerous things, that would be very helpful. It will be illegal and get us in trouble with all the people we shouldn't, but I figure I can trust you.
I'm sitting here laughing as you text all this out. Give me a computer's check real quick.
What do you mean a computer's check? I'm texting, bro.
Sorry, not a computer check. Give me a, let's call it a physical science check. That's a good one.
Ooh.
Oh, you better not have hacked my shit.
No, that'd be a computer's check.
Okay. 11.
Yeah, I'll say it's a low roll, but I'll say you know enough about Mote to understand the concept that there's a high likelihood that you get back before this message if you're sending it from the drift.
I didn't think like we instantly. I didn't know how long it took us to like actually go into the drift. I guess.
Yeah, even from the Bast, honestly, like system to system.
Then yeah, I would just wait. Then I would kind of just go to Dr. Duro and after giving him some time to become conscious and me time to rest up, I would kind of start taking out my med kit and patching him up a bit and go after a bit and say, I'm sorry I almost got you killed, but it was the only way I could think to get you out.
You did save me. I thank you for that.
You looked hurt, so I did not think they were treating you well, and leaving you there would, if you were there because you saved somebody who was bad and that person was me, you should not be punished for that.
He gives like a wry old man smile and says, you, other experiments, multiple reasons that they tried to put me in there. I imagine none of them had to do with anyone, including you. Get sent somewhere like that at my age. There's another reason.
What did you do?
He shakes his head. I don't know. I imagine I escaped before I found out.
Do I believe him?
Is there an insight in this game? I forgot we haven't played in a long time.
Perception.
Sense motive.
No, sense motive is
sense motive.
There you go.
Yeah. Ah, shit. Perception would be way better. Can we do that?
Nah.
This is a Pathfinder.
14.
Yeah. Seems like he's telling the truth.
Okay. Well, Tetsu at least feels better that he didn't break out like a war criminal. As far as you're aware.
Whatever you need to tell yourself.
I mean,
it's not all I need to tell myself.
No, I'm glad you double checked after the fact.
Yeah, I can always kill him.
Smart.
You know.
Smart.
And he kind of just sits there and goes, and then like after a couple more minutes of silence, he goes, "Do you know Kazkan?"
Who is that?
The one that had my friend Tibble with a gun to his head?
Friend.
The big one.
Yes, with the many arms.
Thinks about it for a long second. Shakes his head. No, I don't. Don't believe I've met him.
Okay.
You said that was your friend?
The one that got captured, yes. Tibble.
He nods a little. His demeanor changes for a split second as he gets a furrowed brow like to your face. Goes,
do you know him?
Shakes his head. No, but if you let a friend get captured because of me, I'm thoroughly disappointed.
Oh.
I'm not letting him stay captured, but couldn't. I had to get to one of you and you were dying.
He nods. Better not.
I'm going to set you somewhere up in Absalom, safe. And then I'm going to break every bit of Kazkan's connections, gangs. I'm going to destroy everything he's worked for. And I'm going to get Tibble back, or I'm going to. Or Kazkan will not make it. One of those two will happen.
He, taken aback for half a second, he goes, I thought you were going to say that you would die trying.
I may. But it will be up to Kazkan if Tibble lives or he dies.
You see him think for a very long, like 5 seconds, as he gives time for Waffles to pull something up.
It feels a little bit like this.
As if he was searching for something in his mind
Searching
palace.
for the right thing to say.
The right words. He looks at
Taking
you.
some time.
He looks at you and says, if there is a chance for death, and he's hesitating, like hard. Think I have something that might help, but
I found the nanites. I think Crick activated them, so that's helped.
he nods a little. We'll call that a side effect. This would be he smiles a little. Main disease.
Wait, did you say main disease?
Yeah. If the nanites are a side effect, this is what he's attempting to tell you about.
The main
disease.
This is the okay, gotcha. I thought that was it.
Tetsu, you have coronavirus.
You have
went to Maine?
main disease.
Oh no, not main. Tetsu just gives him like a questioning look of I don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's hard hesitating, but you can see the cogs turning in his head about do you really have a chance to die? How dangerous is this? Do I want to do this or let you die?
Tetsu would speak up and just say, Kazkan is a criminal underlord. He is brutal. He's killed many people. He's ruined many lives. And I opposed him once, and I did not press the issue as much as I wished I had. I tried to go away to find people who could do good, and he's been able to operate unopposed. And so now I haven't found people to go out and do good and be the heroes I wanted, so I'm going to be the less bad guy Absalom needs, if that's what I need to be.
You see him give a small smile and nod to you. Well, I do think you have the correct path in mind. I just don't know if you can control it yet. And he brings out you see him reach into his pocket and make me a perception check.
Oh, now
He's got
I
a
get
gun.
Perception check. Activate Order 6. Oh, okay, Chicky Nugget, it is a natural one. All right, 28.
Okay. That's a good change from a nat 1 to a 28.
Yeah, there goes my last Chicky.
You see him reach into his pocket, and you see his arm go way deeper than it should.
Oh my. He got a hole in his pants, guys.
Pants of holding.
Basically, much like one would, like reaching into a bag of holding, and the hand goes way deeper than it, like your elbow down. And you see him like look up to the ceiling for a second, stop, pull something out. He brings up this small, it looks like for lack of a better word, it looks like you ever seen a fidget cube?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like one of those, but it's just
unnecessary buttons all over.
Well, kinda, but it's the size of that, but it just has one button.
Okay.
And it's made of this like intricate light blue and purple, like metals and light. It kind of shows it to you for a second. This can't be used often, but this would emit a frequency that would cause the electronics within you to release, I think, what you know about yourself.
Tetsu just stares for a long time and like reaches out to just hold it and kind of looks at it for a couple long moments, and then he looks up to Dr. Duro and goes, "How was this in your pocket the whole time?"
You see another wry smile. I don't quite know about magic, and only I can activate it. Do you get the sense like if they like went through his clothing, like it's just a pocket?
They'd really have to know. Yeah. Kind of looks at it again and goes, "Do you know exactly what it does?"
I don't, because I've never had to use it, and I don't. See him think for a second. I don't think you've ever been through that since I've remade you.
Is this something related to Monk Butu?
He, like, little shock in his eyes that, like, you know the name, but he nods.
Kind of looks down at it, pockets it for a minute, and goes, "I saw a video of Monk Butu. I'm not him, but when I face Kaz, he will get to meet Monk Butu. Maybe some of his followers, too."
No smile on his face, but he does nod in understanding towards you.
And with that,
maybe
like,
necessary.
Tetsu just kind of leans back and is kind of just sitting there thinking for a bit and kind of fiddling with it in his pocket a bit. Not pressing the button, obviously, but just kind of contemplating some of the unpleasant shenanigans he's thinking about doing. Yeah,
Nice.
he's about to Groot in Guardians 2.
Heck yeah.
Don't
I'm going
press the button.
I'm gonna share this thing I wrote up for you with you. I'm gonna let you read it out.
Ooh.
Okay.
While you send that over,
This
I just want to
can't
say
be-
it's a Bluetooth button. I had to.
Get out of here.
I'm
You're fine.
changing the name from Tetsu to Bluetooth button.
I had this sitting in the back, but have you ever read the list of like bad similes and things that like kids have written in English class?
What are you trying to say about me?
No, about when we were filling time when Waffles was like pausing, and it's like taking a breath, like someone searching through a Google Drive for specific information.
Yeah, that doesn't really resonate.
You got it, Carrick?
No. Did you
I
send
sent it to you. Yeah. It's
Carrick?
it's in like your random folders and stuff. It's probably in a folder that
me?
says
Oh, in
Home-
Google Drive.
no, and roll 20.
Yeah, it's in your handouts and roll 20.
Rolled 20.
Oh, you faxed it to me. Okay.
All right.
Oh, my
Look,
email.
I get information all over. All right.
Everyone suddenly
Tetsu-
just goes, oh, the fax machine. Sorry, hold on.
All right, shut up. All right. Tetsu gains access to releasing the DNA of Monk Butu from within. This action is a swift action and can only be done once per day. Ooh, I can do it a lot. Once activated, Tetsu immediately undergoes a minor transformation that is noticeable and becomes both enraged and confused. Isn't he always? Tetsu takes -2 on all ACs. Gains additional move action. Oh, I'm unstoppable. Gains full actions are now at -3, and I can attack 3 times. Attacks deal an additional D6 sonic damage. Tetsu immediately gains 20 stamina points. Flat 6, yeah. Gains an additional 20 stamina points. This can overheal for stamina. Tetsu will roll a 1d20 every round while under this effect. 1 through 4. Yeah, confused. Attacks a random nearby person. 5 to 8, babble incoherently and stunned. 9 to 12, can't move and must do full attack on random target, including myself or an object. 13 to 16, acts normally but must attack someone before the end of the turn or become stunned until the start of the next. 17 to 20, act normally, doing whatever. Condition will last 1d4 plus 2 rounds, or can be attempted forcibly broken with a d8 plus level will save. Upon this condition being broken, Tetsu is exhausted for the same amount of rounds he was enraged. Alright. So when I just want to go ham. For when no friendlies are around or left alive.
And when Zeha's not beside you.
Question
Zeha gets
Or
annihilated.
when she is beside
Just
me.
no chance.
Speaking of that, question from the peanut gallery, considering I'm going to be the one next to you most of the time. What is the
fine
percentage
killing
chance of me getting hit in the face? How
Pretty
many of those
high, it
numbers?
sounds like.
Well, so
Yeah.
if you take
Like-
the percentage of you being hit and then subtract it by the face alone,
Mhm.
Yeah, it would be what? It would be the 9 to 12 or the 1 for 4.
1 through 4,
Uh,
yeah.
So that would be
Or 13 to
8.
16 if I don't want to get stunned.
that'd be an 8 out of 20, which is 4 out of 10, 2 out of 5, so
40.
40%.
Yeah. I like you went
wow.
to 2 out of 5, but yes.
I had to check it.
So it's a little bit better than a coin flip.
Yeah, but
Yep.
that's if you're the nearest person. I'm just going to
That's
be
true.
hugging Kaz at that time, you know?
Hey, Zeha, want to see something cool?
Zeha, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
that's why I wrote that in chat.
Good one,
You
Carrie.
won't like me when I'm angry.
I'm looking forward to Mote hacking it by accident and pressing the going. What does this button do? It doesn't seem like
Just
it's doing
watching in the
anything.
background like Zeha getting punched in the face. What does this button even do, guys?
Alright. That's what he gives you, though. That is now what Tetsu has access to.
Oh, you fool.
And you keep traveling to Absalom as we move on to Aizen.
What? Back
nest.
to me? No, okay.
Get out of here.
Aizen, you're, if I remember correctly, you're on the ground outside of your escape pod. There's a storm around you. You're not quite sure of the direction of the city, but you can find a way to find yourself there.
I have a plan. I in fact have a plan.
I'm ready.
What's the name of the bear? Smokey the Bear would say, when you're lost in the wilderness, the goal is to first sit down, figure out where you are, and then move on. So
What?
my first course of action.
Quality advice from Smokey the Bear.
Smokey
Yeah.
is an
If
uplifted
you're
bear,
lost,
right?
become unlost.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Smokey was the original uplifted bear.
That's great.
He's the
That
ancestor.
should be somebody's character's story.
Oh,
That's great.
I need
Direct
it
descendant
now.
of Smokey.
Now I need a duo of Yogi Bear, and then that's the uplifted bear, and then you have
The three.
Skittermander Boo Boo.
My next character.
Boom. All right.
Their combo move is the picnic basket.
All right, I'm out.
Just a
That was one
suitcase
too
bomb.
much.
Okay. So what do you do? What are you doing?
So what I'm actually going to do, because we're only a mile out from the city, right? I'm actually going to look up, because the one thing that I know that the cities always do is absorb energy, right? The thing that is the dome of the city, any sort of energy that hits it gets absorbed by the city and then gets transformed through various processes into how the city runs.
For sure.
So I know at this distance, if I look at where the storm is being warped, because it's like slamming into this force field that goes all the way up into space, I should be able to pick the direction that is closest to the civilization and at least move in that direction.
Okay, I like it. Give me a. Your survival is probably really bad, so give me a perception check.
Sure. Do that. That sounds good. 10. Not great, but I'll take it.
Not great.
What do your rock
Uh,
guys see?
Yeah, but it was a good plan. It's gonna
Nothing.
take you like an hour and a half to 2 hours to like, because these clouds keep getting in the way, and it's kind of hard to tell where the storm is exactly warping. But the plan was good enough that like you're gonna make it. So you're on your way towards the city now. Also take a hero point.
Ooh.
I like that. I wasn't thinking of it. Yeah. We'll speed it up a little. We'll say you walk for about an hour and a half, and you make it to what would be like the outer mountains of the city. And make me another perception check.
What kind of perception check is this? Can I use my Is this something I can use my scanner to help me with, or like am I just looking to see?
No,
what I
you wouldn't
see?
know. You wouldn't know you're using it, so no.
Okay, got it.
Unless you're walking around scanning constantly, but I doubt it.
Yeah, nah. One better. Do I hero point this? Do I hero point it? You know what? I'm gonna let it ride. There's gonna be something I'm gonna really need to hero point. I'm gonna let that 11 ride.
All right, sounds good to me. Yeah, you kind of concentrated on the storm and the outskirts of town here. You just keep walking up, and then you swear you hear the ground crack behind you. At about the same time, you feel a hand on your shoulder, and then you hear a voice say, "Don't yell. It's me," and you recognize it. It's Kaze's voice.
I take my hand off of my sword hilt where I was gonna like actively stab him. I received word.
Yes. So, did we, all of the military, about your arrival within the drift? Or from the drift, he says.
And just for the record, I am in the uniform of the military, so if anyone else is seeing, I don't look like I'm just a random Shimmerine.
Okay. Yeah. So is he. For all that matters. He looks at you for a second and goes, "Disguise?"
Wait, didn't you become a female presenting?
Yeah.
More
well,
androgynous.
Yeah, androgynous presenting,
Okay.
but that doesn't just because I look different on like a camera or something doesn't mean that he couldn't pick up my energy signature or know, like, based off of various other things who I am.
Yeah, I think she's talking more for the outfit, but I could be wrong.
I mean, yeah, I just wanted to remember like what, because you said like costume or whatever or disguise, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the outfit's probably a little big on you, but like it does fit. Minus that, like you could, whether he could pick up on your energy signature or not. Yes, no. You get the sense you're probably the only Shimmerine out here.
Given where I am, that makes sense. The fact that he could find me so quickly is troubling, but that's a question for later.
Yeah, I mean that would. Now that you brought that up, and I would tell you that it makes perfect sense in your brain that they have to know that something landed out here.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the plan? I assume I didn't get that message for nothing. What needs to be done?
You didn't, and we don't know where she is, but I can get you into the embassy at least.
I brought additional help. I expected that they would be the one to meet me out here.
They landed, and most assuredly they will not be out here.
Understood.
I couldn't stop that one.
Something seems strange. I can feel it in the air. The storms are more violent, it seems like. What's been going on?
They have been recently. I'm not quite sure. The city seemed to think that it's an omen, and
They always do.
he shakes his head a little bit, yeah. But I'll tell you, I'm not sure if she was taken or if she left. She had been talking about leaving for a little while, but I never thought she would. And then after she was gone, but there were guards outside her door that night, and she was gone in the morning.
We don't have time to talk about this, but if she went of her own free will, I'm fine with it. She has a right to live the life she wants to live.
He nods a little. I wish I could tell you she did, but I can help you get into the embassy. I can leave you here and tell them it was nothing, a creature that got struck by the storm that landed.
It's fine. They won't find any evidence that I landed. The equipment I used burned up on entry, so it should be fine as long as we can get in safely.
He nods. Okay, I can definitely get you through the underground. Let's go.
I follow behind.
Okay. Then we go to Mote. Oh, wait. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, when we switch positions, I do want to look over him. Like, does he look the same? Do they look any different? They are technically also androgynous. I should remember they.
Yeah, they look basically the same.
Okay, good.
Mote. You are greeted by two Shimrins. They basically are forcefully telling you to come with them after they had said that you landed and explained that they knew that you smuggled a Shimrin through the drift.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, for sure. So, if you would, follow.
Yep, Mote follows. As they go, they try to start up a bit of just general conversation, just kind of like trying to probe, like, so I heard this planet usually has like a bunch of stuff going on, big fights and stuff. Is there nothing happening there recently? I was hoping to get some footage of that, honestly, once this all gets cleared up.
It's like silence for the first 3 or 4 questions, and then finally the one on the right break, and you're being led through what looks to be like this, for the best way to explain it, like this amazing hall of like marble meets, it's like old, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, or if you've thought about something different. I was about to call you Seth Eisen. But how I imagine it is it's like this, it's like Egyptian meets modern day. So it's almost like imagine if the Egyptians built New York City. So you got like rock and marble and just these like symmetry quite everywhere. Like the place itself is beautiful, but it's also intertwined with electricity, and there's like actual useful things here and there too, not just all beauty. But you're being led through these very intricate like halls, and you notice yourself going slowly down over the course of what would be like 10 minutes. But finally the one on the right breaks and says, when the storms are bad, there are fights. You hear like a tinge of excitement in their voice as well.
kind of latch onto that and just kind of press him for some more, just like stuff like, oh, what's your favorite kind of fight? What's that? I'm just trying to get the dude talking and trying to, just see if I can get any sense of like, well, get him talking and then kind of transition into, so the storms aren't bad right now. How bad do they get? Just try to worm towards, is there something else going on right now?
For sure. Yeah, you get answers back. This one slightly above average. It's not the worst we've seen, but it's rough. We have patrols. We haven't seen any creatures, which is kind of, you see them kind of glance left, and the person just shakes their head, and then he stops talking about that. And then continues on and says, but sorry, what was another question? I had like one in my head and I completely lost it.
So yeah, I was just kind of wondering if there was like anything else going on around this time.
For sure. And he says, nothing of interest, minus kind of glances back at you. A visitor.
Don't get many of those, huh?
Shakes their head. No, not at all. Especially ones that smuggle through the vast and then bring themselves to us.
Yeah, it really takes someone stupid to smuggle something in and then go straight to a regular port, right? Almost like it didn't fucking happen. But anyway, we'll talk about that, I guess.
They ignore you for another like 5 minutes, and eventually you find yourself, they're opening this like large metal door, and you see what looks to be think like old school dungeons meets like a super sci-fi. So like it's just dark, dingy, rocky, mossy, like a little wet down here, and then everything is lit by these bright blue like force field lights that are actually like what would keep you in a cell. And they bring you here. They said, you won't be treated wrong. You will be tried. That's how we do things. We just need to know and understand if our people think you did what they say you did.
You say tried as though that's the inevitability that almost no matter what happens, I'm still going to be tried, or is the trial the appeal to whatever jury is going to decide whether or not I'm, doing did the thing you said I did?
They kind of glance between each other. You'll inevitably be at a trial. Please enter.
Kill them.
I pulled it in on my vest full of C4. I'm going out.
Got him!
Should have checked me.
I
You
almost
didn't pat me down. No. Well, I mean, it's just
Didn't
a
you
holding
have-
cell essentially.
Grenades on you? Or is that Tetsu?
I do have grenades on me. I
Okay,
have
no, just checking.
Mostly Tetsu, though.
stuff.
If you want to pull a
Yeah.
Tetsu, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke bomb!
Just
All right,
all
is
the
this the
smoke
time?
grenades.
Is this the time that we take like 3 minutes to talk about how shitty grenades are in Starfinder?
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not even grenades are shitty. It's you cannot not miss or
The concealment
like, shoot
I
effect.
through
thought
smoke.
the way
yeah.
that sentence was gonna go is it's not that the grenades are shitty, it's you. You're shitty.
You're shitty.
Your shit.
I was waiting for
Also
it.
that. But it's also
you
Waffles.
waffles.
Waffles' mythical ability to just avoid concealment penalties.
That's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
It's
think he's cheating,
statistically
man.
bullshit.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I roll 20.
He
in front of
rolls
him.
in front of us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
still.
well, he has a hack on.
Yeah, I was about
obviously.
to say he doesn't show the hack.
It's
He
from
just
the
shows the dice
sponsorship.
roll.
Yeah, it's the one boon we got from Roll20. They were like, you don't want like more
Rolls are
natural
10% higher.
20s. We were like, no. Just anytime he needs to roll concealment, just fuck it up.
Anytime I roll a flat d20, let me decide what it is. That's what I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So, as we had gotten here, is this sort of like a solo holding cell, as in there's no other areas around that are containing others, and like I'm the only one as far as I'm aware, or are there others?
You definitely
Or
don't
other
think it's a solo holding cell, based on like how it's built, but you also get the sense that they don't have many reason to hold people. You're the only one down here.
Fair enough. Yeah, once they had mentioned the whole try anything, we're gonna mess you up, I didn't try to send Wasp out, so basically I'll just go ahead and go in and just kind of begin taking stock of how close and eye they're keeping on me. I want to see if there's like security cameras within the cell. I want to see what kind of tech there is, like keypads or electronic locks and anything like that that I might be able to mess with.
Okay. There are security cameras. There are none in any of the cells. There, you did see a keypad on the outside of the door that brought you into this place. Not your cell, but like the door of the dungeon itself. There are no defenses, so there's no guns or anything. That's about it. It's pretty bare. And I will tell you that when you go into the cell and this blue light closes like the door, your mask stops working.
Oh.
And if Wasp is with you, it falls to the ground.
Well,
I think they took
that's
Wasp.
fun. I bonk into at least, like, I'm walking in and I kind of trip as the mask shuts off and just go, well, shit. Because I
That's you
mostly
talking,
use,
right?
well, in my head, I'm sorry. It's,
No. I'm asking like the mask is your form, how you speak, correct?
yeah, my mask is how I speak. So, yeah. Anything
And
from this point
you're
on it.
Sorry, and you're smart enough to know that you're like in this room, you're basically under the effects of like an EMP, a constant EMP.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, there goes the idea of like trying to send in any communication. Well, I just think to myself, well, good luck, Aizen.
Analog escape plan. Get that spoon and that. start digging.
Yeah.
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 Eventually, they'll like they come in there. They'll talk to you, small talk. They'll bring you a meal. When they do, it opens like a small. They have like this tiny contraption that looks like they hold it up to the blue door, and it makes a hole that they can like slide in the meal.
Yeah.
But for now, you're chill. Like temperature's comfortable. It's not horrible conditions, minus the fact you're locked in a cell and can't access electronics, which is probably very horrible for Mote.
It's rough, but I think Mote's going to basically spend some time just kind of, since the electricity's off anyway, just doing some maintenance checks on the internals of Wasp or the mask. Just kind of course, if the mask is off, Mote is turned away from the front of the cell.
For sure. Give me an intelligence check.
Gotta find the intelligence button. 17.
Ooh.
Okay. That's a good one. You begin thinking on like the intricacies of how exactly they would be able to track something coming out of the drift, and it makes you think like they have some sort of code / algorithm, something, an ability to track things also in the drift. They have something that allows them to know, to be able to target things in the drift. You don't know much more than that right now, but it gets you thinking that having noticed and heard them speak on like that they can track period gets you thinking on this line of thought that you might be able to develop something similar.
Inspiration.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for throwing me in
Yes,
jail. I had an idea.
What else can you do
Prison
in jail?
where
'Cause I
all the
think-
best ideas are born.
Well, not all of them.
As we saw, yes, that's fair.
Yeah, as
Alright.
is based on Tetsu's decision making.
Oh, that wasn't what I was talking about, but yeah, sure.
And finally, Dr. Lin.
What's up, Doctor?
What's up? You still just doing drugs?
It's
I'm not doing any of them.
Not quality.
I am
Quality
producing.
testing.
I'm producing a high quality masterpiece combat enhanced. Yeah, Len's just supervising the operation here. He's making sure everything's like looking good, making sure his staff is wearing like gloves and like aprons. We may be drug producers, but we're not savages.
For
Did
sure.
the first like drug drop off go well?
I did. You like it? You haven't got any like? They accepted. They were happy with it. Like your people haven't told you that there were any major problems. You're still making money on the side.
No
For all
major
the-
problems yet.
For all the
I was hoping a
immediate-
glowing review.
We give him 3.2 stars.
Is this the black market Yelp?
Yeah.
That's how the dark web works. You get, Google ratings.
Yeah.
Mhm. Based on that, since I don't have anything to do, since you keep telling me to, that you're just making drugs
Wait,
here.
no.
Because you're
I
boring,
was gonna
is
say.
what he's saying.
I was gonna say something. I had something.
I mean, go for it. I have something for you too.
Len's next move in the business is going to
Pyramid
be
scheme.
one expanding operation.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that real? I like you have to
We're
always
going down
check.
this road, Waffles. Buckle in. We're going down
I
this
thought
road.
that was sarcasm based on
Sarcasm.
Syrup's
We
pyramid
only just
comment.
begun.
Listen, Waffles, I'm a master in the trade. Yeah, Len wants to upscale production. Also, he has the one guard that's designed to like point a gun at like staff to make sure they're
Oh, God.
keeping.
The gun is
Health
constantly on
and-
crack.
Yeah, no, we.
Meeting
It's
stops
always
when
like-
morale improves.
So I do want to hire more people with like to look mean and like stand around, make sure no one's like trying to mess with
Oh
us. But
my
also I want to
God.
start looking into rival operations. To see if we're being crowded out of this market. I just want to start doing
Dr.
some market
Lin,
research.
you have a specific goal.
Doc,
Hey,
yes, and
hey.
I say pursue it.
If there's
Nobody-
someone stealing business from us, then we need to make sure that we are aware of this. If they come for us, well, we can't allow that. We have to.
You're lucky.
I can't
Sorry.
I can't believe nobody checked Dr. Lin's addiction.
Why
You're
would we?
lucky,
I
Dr.
trust him
Len, that the one
implicitly.
person that's gonna keep you in check is stuck in a scene that is one day, and therefore time has not yet passed for Zeha.
I mean, I'll give you the chance to interrupt if you want, but the last I heard, Zeha was basically staying out of Dr.
Yeah.
Lin's.
Yeah, you said that she's
You wanted
specifically
out.
ignoring him.
She's staying out of his way. She actually left it all to him because she has a reputation to uphold.
No.
You can't be caught with drug dealing.
No, she's not going to literally never speak to you
Oh.
for the next like couple weeks. That's not it. She was letting you be once you were like starting up basically.
Well, let's hold a scene.
She
then.
wants-
Well,
You
She wants
I
to
have
come back for all
something
the
that I
good
need to
stuff.
do first in response to the info that I was provided. So I kind of need that to happen first beforehand. So it's okay.
I'm second priority. Okay, that's.
Well,
I'm
then
gonna start crowding out
You're
the
a
market.
side character.
I need to take care of that first. So I'd say, what do you need to happen?
I need to talk to Arvin.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, easy enough. Within a day or two, you can make a meeting. It seems like he's available.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of don't really fully wait. Like, I sit there at that bar for like an hour. I order another drink, I drain it before standing up and like just going back to the Starfinder Society. And it's probably like past his work hours. And I just message him and I'm like, meet at the office.
He gives you a solid 25-minute wait.
That's fine.
But he shows up.
I like wave into the office and like I want the whole like soundproofing and everything. Like, give me the works.
He gives like the polite like nod bow and follows you in.
So I sit down opposite him and I'm just like, so did you know my grandmother?
Personally, no.
Did you work with her?
I worked with her, and he puts an intonation on it that means like he was involved with jobs with her, but he never met her, never talked to her, never anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And she kind of like gets up to make the same drinks that I think she's seen like Tetsu or Aizen make for Arvin.
Sure.
She's not great at it, but it doesn't. Like, actually, no, she would be. She would be good at this. It's part of drinking is a tactic.
Yep.
And she kind of like sits down, and she just honestly you can tell like she's kind of doing this just to have something to not fiddle like with her hands and
Sure.
stuff.
This is her pacing.
Yeah, it's like she's her cover. But she gives one to Arvin as well, and she's just like, right. I had a conversation with Taya.
I heard.
Good. Can you confirm that this individual with the council's... Oh, by the way, not the council, the Doyanate. I checked.
There you go. You are completely right.
This Lashinta that has the Doyanate's ear. Is that Nanal?
From what Taya has said, yes. To be quite frank, Nanal has worked with us many times, but she has never involved us with any of her plans. We are very often an envoy for her.
Right. And have you investigated her?
We've tried.
Unsuccessfully?
She doesn't exist.
That wasn't suspicious to you?
No. To be frank, you barely exist.
I would like to hear straight from you what your interest is in the Ramsentin.
My interest is... You see him pause for a second. He pushes the drink back, leans back in the chair. I'll just be straight with you. My interest is to, first of all, attempt to uphold the culture that the Adari brings as part of the Pact. I think it is very important. I also know, with the timeline of things, that the Kasatha very likely have pre-gap knowledge within the Spire.
And it kind of is like all clicking for her slowly.
If that can't be done. The Ramsentin, the Company of Knowledge, would likely hold at least some sway or knowledge. He stops himself, or knowing of that knowledge. Plus, everything I've seen, every single person I've met, from working, he shrugs his shoulders a little, alongside your grandmother, to speaking with your mother, to you being part of the Starfinder Society, to Taya, the Ramsentin are exceptional. And if I did not make a pass at that, I would be very bad for the Starfinder Society.
She nods. That does bring me to my next question. Have you attempted to loop the current Doyanate seat of the Ramsentin into these conversations? As I don't say mom, but basically speak of my mother.
Sure.
Mommy.
Not the exact conversations. No.
Has she been receptive to the other conversations?
No. Which is why we haven't made it here.
She holds her nursed drink with 2 hands now and kind of leans forward. I think we'll be frank with each other. My first and foremost goal is to ensure the Ramsentin, my role in the Ramsentin, to honor my grandmother and properly hold the seat of the Madaloon to the best, to do what's best for both the Adari and the Ramsentin. Whatever that means. My biggest concern is hearing that Ninal seems to be pushing, having the ear of the Doyanate and affecting the course of these decisions. I'm not one to underestimate one well-timed, carefully spoken whisper in the right person's ear. I need your help to do something with that, about that.
If you have a plan, I'm all ears. But Ninal has proved to have her ways, and she has many pieces of the puzzle.
We need to play the same game then. Because right now I'm not even looking at a puzzle.
He nods a little, and then holds his hand up before you can speak. It would require us to play a game against somebody who already has a head start. You understand that, right?
I do. Which means, I'm sure, time is of the essence. To have any influence and understand any bit of what is going on, I need to complete my tempering. Now, obviously, I think I'd rather leave this current development off of that report, so I'll need something else.
What do you need specifically about something specifically about the Starfinder Society?
Something like that. But you have to understand, I won't promise the Ramsentin to the Starfinder Society. I can't do that because I can't guarantee that that's what's best for the Adari.
I understand.
But if I can...
I just want the best shot at it.
Of course. If I can assume the Madaloon's position and figure out what Ninal is doing and what this puzzle is and what we can do about it, then I will work with you and the Starfinder Society to ensure the safety.
You see him think for a minute. He looks back at you, makes eye contact. You would assume the seat and then leave the Adari?
Why would he assume that?
You said you were going to work with the Starfinder Society and stuff. Like, he's basically asking, like, are you going to do that from the Adari permanently? Like, are you still going to be part of the Starfinder Society? We can even say he makes a glance towards, like, your Starfinder badge.
I'll do what's necessary. Perhaps a similar deal as Taya. For now. Or openly if you think that's what's best. But I will gather information, and I will assist when I have a full picture of information. I will not do so blindly.
You see him nod a moment. He thinks, smiles, and says, "This will stay between you and I."
It will.
And the Adari.
What does he mean by that?
You get the sense that he's like getting to you. You had asked for information, right?
Right.
Like something you could give the Ramsen 10 to be a Madeline.
Yes. In regards to the completion of my tempering, that is submitted to the Council of the Ramsen 10.
Yes. So you and I, and the Ramsen 10, the Adari, because I imagine it will be spread. I think this is. See him think a moment, licks his lips. The best piece of information I can give you, especially to ensure that the Adari stays, which is in my best interest. Makes eye contact. You will not tell your party, especially Dr. Lin.
That's the most that is what I just did. That kind of like deep breath. That kind of just like moves her, but she just kind of gives a head nod.
We have finally developed the cure to the adaptation virus. And thus far, the Starfinder Society is what holds it.
As we mentioned the full story, is there a reason behind it?
Behind what?
The holding back of sharing this information.
Yes, there is. That's all it gives you.
Mm-hmm. So, just from my brain, if I were to go back to submit my tempering, the clarification, because not the tempering doesn't need anything, but obviously the Ramsen 10 is special. But
yeah.
If I were to say like, yeah, okay, they have a cure for the adaptation serum, wouldn't they be like, what the fuck is the adaptation virus? Like, do they know about that?
You can almost assuredly assume that the Ramsen 10 and the Doyanate know. That's just kind of what they do.
That brings up a good point of like how widespread is this knowledge by this point?
Yeah, it's with Arvin, you get the sense it's probably with like higher ups on planets that have higher ups. So like
Okay.
Idari and stuff, but it hasn't made it anywhere else. Like, it's probably nowhere on Akiton because Akiton doesn't really have anyone, you know?
Sure.
Like, Arvin wouldn't contact anyone on Akiton.
All right, so it's starting to make its way into like the information networks, basically, like the Ramsem 10s and things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, minus that, like, I'm sure there's rumors on webs and networks of like, this person turned into a plant, and then people are like, that's so stupid.
Gotcha.
Plant man.
Okay, so
My dog mutated a second head.
it's the deep dive down VidTube. so when do I think that this is this would kind of suffice?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely think this would suffice for what you need, because it's not information that anyone else could bring.
Mm-hmm.
You also think it would suffice for what he needs. You can almost guarantee that the Idari would stay, because if they go somewhere else and then they have no access to any kind of cure, they would stay or they would develop a plan to get it. But
okay. So just for ease, I'm gonna step back at a character to kind of basically make sure that we're on the same page. What Zeha is basically, so with this information, I want to make sure that this makes sense. I want to basically go back, you know, submit this as sufficient for the Ramsen 10, ideally successfully complete the tempering in their eyes, and then kind of like whatever's next after that. Like, I want the Starfinders behind the scenes assistants to take up the mantle of Madaloon. In doing so, that will gain me access to a seat on the Doyenate and to start kind of understanding what is happening with Ninal, what the politics of that situation are, and to basically report, because technically even Taya does not have a seat on the Doyenate, correct?
it's true.
So that's kind of like what I'm offering as like, this is what I can do, and if this works well, then yes, maybe the Idari will stay, but like for future things, my goal is like, as Madaloon, I'm going to ensure like what I think is best for it. That doesn't mean we can't work together, but it'll be like specific.
For sure.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think he knows all that, and he's on board with it, because at the end of the day, this piece of information plus everything you want keeps the Idari here.
Right. And I think she's less like about that and more just like if the Idari like 10 years from now decides that it wants to leave, like, she's not stopping that. She literally is here for, there's somebody in the council's ear, in the Doyenate's ear, and that's dangerous.
Yep.
Cool. I like it.
All right. Let's get it going here then. That conversation wraps up nicely. Handshake, all the cheers, all the good stuff.
Fist bump.
Fist bump, elbow bump, knee bump, hug, kiss. All right.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And
3
then
hours later.
you have your chance to check in on Dr. Lin.
Okay. Probably a couple days later, after some arrangements, she'll like message you, Dr. Lin. How are things going?
You don't get a response for 10 minutes. Then Len says, or texts back, "If you wish to chat, come by my office." And
fair
I must add, he has converted back like a room in the like rundown drug lab into an office where it's like kind of cluttered. He has his MD up on a shelf, his valueless MD, and he personally inspects all of the drugs.
Of course he does.
And tries them.
I think she will. She'll, disguise herself a little bit, and head on down. Probably seeing this in full operating effect, for the first time.
The armed guard at the door has orders to pat her down and take away any weapons she has.
I do not let that happen.
Okay, roll me a diplomacy check.
And it's that absolute, like, ice cold look of, like, don't, like, are you fucking kidding? Like, what, diplomacy?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not something I could do anything else with right now. Okay.
No.
I roll advantage.
That's going to be a 28.
Okay. He does have orders from the person he's paid for, so he goes to pat you down, and you basically just like give him this look and maybe a couple of words.
I grab his like wrist in one hand.
Yeah, he like yanks his wrist out of your hand, takes his hands up in the air, takes a small step back, brings a hand down, palm up. I won't touch you. I need your weapons.
You don't. I own this building, and I continue walking through.
He attempts to step in front of you, but you like push past him, and you hear like, Dr. Le.
It's above his pay grade. It's okay.
What is it?
The owner of the building is here to see you.
She is not the owner of the building. I paid for this.
About that time, you're probably popping through the door that he's yelling out of.
Why do you still have your gun? He's supposed to confiscate anyone's weapons that come in here.
Dr. Len.
I tried.
It's
can
just
leave.
Len, though I am experimenting with some street names. I'm thinking the Bloodbelly. It's actually a type of jellyfish.
Is that you
Sounds
for a
like an
second?
infection.
Can I make like a sense motive with my culture of like, are you fucking serious? Like, is he in this? Is he insane?
No, I am most certainly not fucking serious. I don't even know who the serious is.
Yeah,
Can
you
I
make
please
a-
be back?
You can make a culture.
25.
I love this this turn of events. I just love it. It's hilarious.
What does she know with a 25? I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but it's
Is
a
this
pretty
just
roll.
pretty much a sense motive check?
Yes.
Kinda, yeah.
He seems like, so as he's kind of like talking to you, it's like half paying attention because he is like picking up vials of like the red eye and like he's like holding it up to like the light coming in through the window. Then he's like putting it off into another box. Like he seems to be doing this very intently and like seriously, but like by his mannerisms, he seems like annoyed you're here almost. And not
like,
just like you're interrupting him. Like he just seems like what's the word when you're like passive aggressive? Like it's more than just like him being annoying.
so like the whole like street name and everything, like it's almost snark.
No, that seemed entirely serious.
Okay.
He's lost in the sauce.
Yes.
He's
so,
both lost and throwing shade at you at the same time.
Yep. So when like the guy is like, I tried, I like turned to the poor guard that did not deserve this, and I'm just like, you can leave, and I close the door on them. And then like I'll walk up to Dr. Len, and like the vial that he's inspecting, I will just like grab it out of his hand and put it down on the desk.
You do know shaking that can absolutely ruin it. It's a very fragile material.
You know that I don't care. You're going to take a break, and we're going to talk.
Zeha, I have not taken a break in the last month.
Oh, I can tell.
Do not believe I'll be
now.
starting now. Okay, monthly break time. What do you want? Are you here to tell me how you're not going to help me even more?
Oh, I'm sorry, was the money that I provided and the research that I was doing in the meantime, as well as everything else, not enough assistance for you? Do you want me to get a doctorate real quick? Oh, I suppose that's not a requirement for the role, is
How
it?
much money did you like give Len to contribute?
Like 600 credits or something like that at the time. Like to the startup funds, basically.
Len will take out his cred stick and set it on the table. I will transfer over the 600. I thank you for your initial investment in this business. It will be paid back in full.
She doesn't look at it even, and she's just looking at you. It's like, all right, enough of this. Dr. Lin, what is going on?
What is going on is a very successful business, Zeha Vumti.
Oh, is this your aspirations in life? Drug
Well,
lord
it seems
Len?
like it seems like really like the best thing that's going on. No, well, it seems like the only thing I have to do right now. So I might as well go all out with it. And quite frankly,
so
I'm
you're just going
going
to
really
accept
far out.
Your poor Dr. Len, not a doctor. I have to do this instead of, perhaps.
Do you know how many credits I made this month?
Is about money.
1,500.
Oh,
Simply with this small scale business right here. If we upscale this, the amount of credits I'll be pulling in will be enough to, I don't even know, get Aizen the best fucking sword he's ever seen.
Okay, so you're using this money that you're upscaling operation and hurting innocent individuals in the process to support
I'm not hurting any innocent
and
individuals.
sugar daddy your friends. Is that how you view friendship?
This is to... I am producing performance enhancers for private military companies. It's like a weapons manufacturer.
You're not upscaling. You're not spreading this to anybody else. Just...
No, I'm upscaling it to produce more.
And
do you drink coffee ever, Zeha? You ever drink a cup of coffee in your life?
Oh man.
And she's lost.
Can you remind me what the other person's name is? The
Crick, my best friend.
No. Your friend that you.
Sana.
Sana.
No.
Where's Sana? Did I see her when I walked in?
No, she's not here, I don't think. I thought Dr. Lin wanted her to be
No.
away from this.
Len wants her to be away from it as, like, beyond being the one who delivers it.
Listen, Dr. Lin. Upscale all you want doesn't resolve the situation at hand. If you have free time, I recommend putting that into research to help Sana.
What do you mean research to help Sana?
You don't think there's any way out of this situation?
Wait, what? No, I don't know what you mean research to help Sana. What's wrong with Sana?
She has a thing implanted in her.
Oh, that's right. The neck bomb.
Yeah.
The reason you're kind of forced to do the drugs.
Right.
Well, I think, quite frankly, I would rather produce some drugs than blow my friend's head off. So I think I'm quite content.
And when you complete this contract and they inevitably ask for more, you're just going to do this for the rest of your life?
Then I will use the bargaining chips I've gained by showing my skill, the high quality of my goods, and the fact that I'm, quite frankly, an asset now, to make sure that they treat my people with fairness. I'd much rather that than start digging around in Sana's neck with a scalpel just to kill her.
Your people. This drug operation?
And you, and the team, and Sana.
Well, All right. And she'll turn around and walk out.
Big shock. And Len then picks up another vial and starts examining it.
All right.
I send a group text message to everybody but Dr. Len.
He's crazy.
Sorry.
We'll
Sorry.
get it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm not the best. But I think Barso should get a hero point for that one. That was great. I love that.
I agree. Actually, Barso and Syrup can get a hero point.
Thank you.
It's a great scene. Thank you for reminding me.
Steps you
Dr.
back.
Lin.
Yeah.
Since do you continue to scale up your business as we had previously discussed?
Yeah, focusing mostly on like security and I guess more subtle ways of distributing. And also, market research on who else are players in the scene.
Okay, give me 3 D100s. You can pick 40%. You're trying to miss it.
Trying to miss. Oh, each one is a 40%. I'm trying to miss. Are you serious?
Yep.
Let me run the numbers.
Higher
38.
low.
You can pick a different one for each if you want.
No, I don't need to. So for all of my warm-up rolls, I rolled really low, so I'm gonna start rolling really high. These are my first actual rolls of the night. So 1 through 40 is what I'm trying to miss.
Let's change it to 35.
Okay, 1 through 35 is what I'm trying to miss. No. I'm gonna go 5 through 40.
All right.
Nice.
Whoa.
41.
77, 57,
So close.
41. Amazing.
All right.
The doctor
yeah.
is in.
As you're scaling up, operations are going smoothly. There's not any major mishaps going. You do garner like some of the market research that you're looking for. Like you're grabbing the people you need. Everything is moving smoothly. And then your comm unit goes off. Ba-ding.
Len was just in the middle of onboarding some new people, telling them how we do things, giving them a walk around the newly expanded lab. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to take this.
Sure. One of the little guys said.
Len steps into the office.
You,
The intern.
yeah, you step into the office.
Yeah, boss.
Wait, is this my drug phone or my normal phone?
If you have 2, it's your drug phone.
Okay.
He has to.
Len clicks it on. Hello, Bloodbelly speaking.
I'd love to think that's with a voice. I'd love to think that's also with like a deepener on his voice, like he's programmed it to be like a weird voice.
No, he has not.
Just the same nasally.
Goodness gracious. Man, oh man. Okay. You hear like a pause for a second, as if somebody's collecting their thoughts on the other side.
Yep, okay.
And then they say, "Is this Lynn?"
If you're calling this number, I would ask that you ask to speak to the Bloodbelly.
Doing real good, kid.
Do I recognize the name? I mean the voice?
No, you don't.
Okay.
They let you finish speaking, and they go, "I am Akron, a representative on behalf of the Tellus Corporation.
You guys, I was muted for that gasp, but holy fuck.
We have received
We
word
knew it
that you are
happened.
conducting illegal trade somewhere within the Pact. You should know, I have been given the right to speak on the corporation and RIM's behalf. This is a notice for you to cease This is a notice for you to cease operations at once. This is not a negotiation, but if you would like to open said negotiations, former doctor, you may contact the Tellus Corporation directly." And they hang up. And that's where we'll take a break.
God damn it. My back yet?
Oh my!
I love that we haven't ever
God.
seen Len drink anything the entire time we played this game, and the first thing he says when he's gone mad is, "Zeha, do you drink coffee?" That was like,
I love it. I didn't even think of that.
Oh my God! All right.
We know he always
was-
takes a cup of coffee though.
That's true.
I just want to
He
super
has to get on his
appreciate
back.
Varso for a second for all of this. You're
That's some
amazing.
good
This
stuff.
is amazing.
Thank you.
what could possibly go wrong?
All right, friends, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So take care of yourselves, get drinks, do whatever you need to do, and we'll catch you in just a little bit. So be right back. Bye. Hi, and we're back.
We're back.
We're back. All right.
Woo.
Whoop whoop.
So, Waffles, I, the respectable small business owner, just received a call from a corporation trying to destroy me. Where have I seen this?
Monopoly,
What
I
a
say.
beautiful layup.
Monopoly.
Varso.
Nice. You've seen it with the Tillis Corporation.
Oh wow, what a coincidence! This is also
I've heard
the
that
Talos
name before.
Corporation.
It's a metaphor for the Tellus Corporation. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's a
Not a
what do they-
metaphor. Not a
It's,
metaphor.
it's a literal metaphor that slaps you in the face with the actual little definition of the metaphor.
Litigation.
No, that's just reality.
The litigation. Amazing.
Okay. All right. Tetsu, you arrived back. It's been
Alright.
like 2 days.
Yeah, this whole
we're-
thing has been
we're-
happening in 2 days.
Yeah, we're timey-wimey here. It's been 2 days for you on the
Oh.
trip back, but you are like the amount of time you were gone and stuff, you're probably back towards like where we are in the timeline with Zeha and Dr. Lin.
Yeah, because I spent a bunch of time traveling to where I was going and took no time
Yep.
to get here, whereas you guys were barely gone. But basically, Tetsu first spends a little bit of time of just like situating Dr. Duro somewhere where he thinks is safe. Maybe ask Arvin to kind of keep him in the Starfinder crash pad.
Hey, Starfinder Society! I just broke this guy out of jail. You want to harbor him?
Yeah, this criminal.
I'm not gonna go into details.
Arvin says that he'll put him up for a day or two, but it can't be a permanent thing.
Yeah,
That's without the jail stuff.
I mean,
yeah, I'm not
the
elaborating.
Starfinder Society sent you there. They gave you the information about Dr. Duro. I think they know who
Yeah,
he
but
is.
it's unprofessional to come in and be like, so that criminal you told me about, I brought him home.
Oh, unprofessional. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't. They like not knowing. All right.
So I broke Daddy Cram out of jail. Here he
Yeah,
is.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that. I'm just being like, hey, I have somebody who needs to stay for a day or two. So I'd set him up. I don't text the group or anything this. I just leave them out of that fact for now. And kind of the first thing I'm doing is what I tried to do last time before I realized it'd be too far away is texting Crick and saying basically that I need your help for something dangerous, something illegal, stuff that you're kind of already probably involved in. Thinking of the medical stuff that he was already kind of shadily involved in and being like, are you available? Where can we meet? Etc.
You get a very short-handed quick text back. Already dangerous, already illegal, with Dr. Lin. And then you get a ... Bloodbelly.
Tetsu texts back, is that a sickness?
You get like a couple of dots that pop up as if he's going to text you, and then he doesn't.
Yes.
Down with the sickness.
Tetsu calls up Dr. Len.
Alright, Len picks up on his normal phone. Wait, when does this happen?
Normal
Is this
phone.
right after I got the call from Tellus?
Yeah, it's probably like within the same amount of time. We'll say it's basically right after, so you have that information, but you haven't really been. It hasn't been days, so you haven't been
Like
able to
half an
respond to
hour.
it.
Yeah, so Len's he like jumps when the phone rings and then he like picks it up and answers, hello. This is Dr. Len speaking.
Are you sick with Bloodbelly?
No, I am. Where did you hear that? Where did you hear that name? Who?
Are you with Crick?
Did? One moment, Tetsu. Len like opens his office door and yells at like, Crick! Don't tell people! Don't associate me with Bloodbelly! And he closes the door.
You hear it through the closed door. It's not people, it's Tetsu.
Yes, okay, I'm with Crick. Bloodbelly is my street name.
Dr. Len, I'm not sure what you're doing, but if Bloodbelly is your street name, you need to tell me where you are, and we need to change that.
You're saying I need it. It's already kind of catching on. People know me by that name.
Time to rebrand.
Please tell me where you are.
Does Zeha know you landed yet?
I haven't texted. I literally, the first thing was Dr. Duro and then text Crick. That's on his list of things to do.
Len's going to like text back, or no, just
I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah, I forgot you're on the phone. I thought we were texting for some reason. Are you with anyone?
I literally just landed. Well, nearly literally just landed.
Okay, well, then come to blah 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 blah. Take a left at blah blah blah, and make sure you're not followed by Zeha, especially.
If you've seen the burned out building, you're going in the right direction.
Oh, there have been renovations.
Tetsu just like pauses more at the if you're being followed potentially by Zeha part, but he goes, you do know what I will be there soon. Yes. And he just hangs up, and then he calls Zeha as he's walking towards Dr. Len's.
Tetsu. Good to hear from you.
Are you and Dr. Len fighting?
Oh. No, not quite so much. Are you back?
Yes.
I can apprise you of the situation. Are you available?
I need to handle something first. You don't want to be involved in things that are not good for your reputation, you have said. I need to involve myself in some stuff like that for reasons.
All right, but did you get my text? It's probably like drift.
I look at my phone.
Wait for like the drift to come back.
It pings up right now.
And it's basically the group message that is like, I'm trying to think of like what the general thing is. It's just basically like Dr. Len has deep dived into his entrepreneurial business. I worry that he is focused on the wrong outcome and he is not quite listening to reason.
Okay.
I kind of read it a minute and go, what business is he in?
I won't answer that. However, I'm sure you can recall.
I can't recall. I haven't seen you in a month.
Oh, you were not. Oh,
Caliban was there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Tetsu. I think we need to talk, and it can't be on the phone.
That kind of. I
also have
have
quite
to
a
take
few
care
updates.
of something. I have a couple things to do, and then you can update me. But I would like you to help with something that you are not comfortable helping with. And in return, I can be useful to you in the future.
Can I sense motive or culture to see if I hear in his voice the like avoidance, like the particular dodginess?
Sure.
We can't talk over the phone, you said.
No, we are talking over the phone. 30.
I totally beat that.
Up to you, Tetsu, but I'm sure something happened.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely... I wouldn't say he's dodgy. He's just not talking about things, because it's kind of the same...
I'm not dodging the subject, I'm just not talking about it.
I'm just avoiding it.
Kind of to the point of, there are things you don't talk about on the phone. Like, it's more of a... He is not talking about things that probably shouldn't be talked about on the phone, but it's kind of clear enough. Like, he's not trying to hide that he's avoiding subjects. Like, it's not like he's purposely dodging it. But yeah. Like,
it's more I'm talking
not
about the
dodging
fact that
for the intent, like dodging you. It's more just dodging.
I understand the other thing you're asking of me in terms of it being some illegal help, like that I got. I was more sense motivating the avoidance of, like, I have something to do. The Dr. Len meetup.
Oh. Yeah, he's definitely got something he doesn't want you to know he's about to be involved in. I don't know that you could pick up it's a Dr. Len thing, but it's definitely involved in something based on the conversation. You imagine it's illegal related, but not necessarily Dr. Len related.
So I would need to have a neutral ground discussion before I agree to any involvement. However, there are some updates that involve some of our favorite diplomats that I would like to apprise you of, and some perhaps changes to my schedule. Sorry, I just really wanted to say that.
There's like a long silence of you hearing Tetsu just like kind of walking down a street for a bit and goes, I will be very interested to have that conversation today.
All right.
Later today, but today.
Right, because you have a meeting.
I have something I need to do.
Damn, I was hoping to throw that in there.
As he's like getting to the door with like the guy who's like guarding it and goes, I need to go now. And,
do I hear the voice? Up. Do I hear the guard's
voice?
No,
before he gets there.
Do I?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Tetsu's a trained professional. Yeah, he knows how this works.
This is literally
I just want to hear my buddy again, that's all. No,
all right. But you get to that door, and then we skip to Aizen. Aizen.
What's up?
I'm trying to figure out how to balance this. I'm having a problem as a DM. So, Aizen and Mote, you may get the short end of the stick this episode.
No balance.
It happens.
I apologize.
It happens. There's a lot going on.
Yep.
It's on us. We split the party, and I said we just put the full blame on Aizen and Mote, so that's why. It's clearly their fault.
Waffles, to make it real easy for you, if you just kill Aizen and release Mote, we'll get Mote back, lickety split, party will be restored.
We'll see if I kill Tetsu, Dr. Len, or Zeha, then it would be 2 and 2, and it'd be easier to balance.
Zeha's about to meet with a spy, so she's easy pickings.
That's true. All right, Aizen, you are led a little bit through like the undergrounds of the embassy by Kaze. Do you have any kind of talk that goes on?
I think that like he understands that the tension is high, but he would be like curious about what's been going on and like asking not direct questions because that's not how he does things, but like indirect questions specifically about Kaze and like how he's doing, and just kind of checking up in that way of like, people don't talk about their feelings, but I deeply care about you, and I'm going to check up on you.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you get all the small talk back. How you been doing? I've been okay. Like, military's rough. They're really keeping us pinned down, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they're making sure we do everything exactly right to the T. As far as like what's been going on, he ventures a little bit into a conversation. He says, I can't quite speak on this a lot, but there have been some movements, and those movements involving others within the vast, and those who belong to nowhere, with words about the Pact.
Interesting. Would it happen to be...
And you would know those that belong to nowhere in as regards to either mercenaries or pirates.
Okay, all right, interesting. Oh, what group? What's the name of the pirates that was part of the dogs of something? I forget, the bounty hunters that were special, that we realized were hired by the guy we met with the robots. I can't remember.
Shoot, I don't have my notes. I know what you're talking about.
It's like the wild dogs, the wild hounds. I wanna
keep saying words.
I'm grabbing.
I can search the words through my notes, but dog and hound don't come up.
Hold on, I have my notes. 1 second.
Wolf
No, the
and
wolves. The
bone.
wolves den. The wolves den.
the wolves den. Thank you.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That rings a bell.
We
know how to get there. That's cool.
Yeah. Would the wolves den have come across your information networks?
I don't have names, but if they are a mercenary or likewise group within the Pact, then likely.
There's also the Black Butterfly. They've decided to make Casterville a secondary home of sorts.
You see a nod. Again, no names, but that sounds like somebody that would have come across.
Mm-hmm. Why would information have reached all the way out here? Are they trying to get materials or something?
You see a slight like grimace across his face. I think more than materials, but they would use them.
That's a storm we don't want to be involved in.
He nods slightly. It's unfortunately the idea of many that the Pact has been a little too strong for a little too long.
There are cracks in the facade. Someone enterprising, if they were strong enough, could very easily break them apart. It wouldn't be hard.
He pauses a long moment at like this rocky outcropping that looks like it like kind of ventures. It's like tunnel that ventures into a door. Nods slightly. Says, yeah, I imagine you could. I apologize. And he opens the door and there are 4 or 5 guards on the other side.
Just so you know, I saw this coming. Like,
Yeah,
you'll,
I believe it.
like when Kaze says, "I'm sorry," Aizen immediately, without even like breaking eye contact to see that they're guards, was like, "You know, you never have to apologize."
Yep. Do you allow them to take you unforcefully?
I'd actually like to do like a sense motive / bodyguard check of like what is their vibe? Are they like willing to like, are they looking to take me in unharmed, or are they looking to be like, no, we're gonna beat you up and then take you somewhere, whatever?
Yeah,
John
give me a bodyguard check.
Listen, I
John
just want to remind everybody that we had a off-screen conversation about, you know, the direction of the whole campaign, and clearly Dr. Len's going to be a kingpin.
I've been doing my job, guys.
Monkey
God,
2
I
is
cannot roll
becoming a
above-
reality. Aizen, it's your turn to make yours a reality.
You know what? I'm using my hero point here because F that noise with that too. I want
There
to
you
like
go.
a proper roll.
You don't have 4 hero points like me.
There we go.
4.5.
You can only have 3.
Thank
You
you,
only have
digital
3.
dice. 25.
That's stupid. Okay, I delete 1.
Okay. 25 does do it. They have weapons drawn. They probably clearly know like what kind of a fighter you are. But you get the sense that they would take you in unharmed if you were willing to go unharmed.
What's the thing you always tell me, friend? Follow the wind where it takes you, and then fight when you have to. And at that point, I will take my hand off my like the sword hilt and hold my hands up.
He gives you a small pat on the same shoulder that he had touched you from behind. He kind of gently pushes you towards them. Time skip, following you through hallways. You are taken to a cell beside Mote.
Huh?
Hey, friend.
They drop you off, they say. Speak if you wish. You will be tried. They specifically look at you, Aizen. I imagine Yami will have more words for you.
I'm certain they will.
They give Aizen a bow and then walk out.
Are we in the same cell, or are we like separated
No.
from like a barrier?
What
Yeah,
are you in
you're-
for?
You're not in the same cell very specifically.
Okay. In that
I'll
case,
say y'all can see each other. You're in cells across.
I'll say, did they hurt you? They
Mote gestures.
Mote.
For our podcast
Mote gestures
listeners.
Mote gestures in a "who is this person? I've never met you before in my life" fashion.
Their mask is also blank, by the way.
Oh,
Yep,
Yes.
totally blank.
your voice on my end is a hot mess there, Kirk.
Yeah, it's a
Beep,
bit.
boop.
Yeah.
You're a crackly robot.
Is
this better?
Voice meter.
He's just gonna like smirk and be like,
I did.
speaking to no one in particular at this point. My friend happened to meet me at the border. As a result, I ended up here. So I assumed that they would lump somebody in with me, looking for a scapegoat. I imagine they picked you in Outlander? Like, he is very obviously, like, he's realizing what you want to do, and he's playing along just enough to, like, make sure that you're not hurt. And whether you respond or not is up to you.
And in your head, you hear Mote's voice. I mean, is it stupid to keep playing this shtick of "I don't know you," or like, should I just go with it?
They're going to, and this is responding in my head, I assume I can, like, how does that work? Can you, when
We
you
looked
read
it
my
up in the
thoughts?
past. You cannot
I think
reply.
you have to. I think you have to actually speak.
All right. In that case, yeah, I'll just say it. there are certain people that will look to try me no matter what happens. So it doesn't particularly matter who agrees or doesn't agree that they're with me. They're going to play out their game one way or the other.
Well, I mean, I would say this went about as well as expected, but I honestly would a lot worse. I didn't think it'd be so quick. Hey, plus side, I got an idea for, tracking things in the drift. That's kind of giving me some stuff to think on. I've had some time in here to, begin working it out. Can't really jot it down because I don't have any tech. But you know what? Writing is a good skill to remember.
Freedom!
Speaking of, how did they, find us so quickly? I imagined they'd find us eventually, but I figured we'd cause a little bit more of a ruckus first.
Oh yeah, shit. You weren't there when it was explained. Right. So the explanation I was given was they were able to essentially track our ship coming out of the drift and immediately basically pinged your signature. And as soon as I landed the ship in the city, several guards and important looking fucks decided to show up and say, hey, you know this guy? So yeah, it was pretty immediate, but they got us on entry into Shimrinsara airspace or space. Airspace doesn't really make sense in space, does it?
Space squared.
At least you got the red carpet treatment.
I wish. I wanted a palanquin and, champagne and stuff, but no, they made me walk. It was ridiculous. Didn't even offer like a noble steed or some shit.
We'll see if we can work that out in the deal. The council can be very accommodating. Waffles, I'd actually like to ask, while I'm witty bantering to cover a little bit of anxiety, in terms of trials and things, what should we expect? I imagine I generally know.
Yeah, you know that anyone that they're pretty the government's pretty heavy on let's just seat these 5 military people here and ask people questions. It's think of it like the worst version of a trial you could stand. Not in the fact that you're going to be guilty immediately, but they literally sit 5 people in front of you. They'll sit here and ask you questions like it's a board meeting or something. And then based on all that, they'll look at each other, take a vote, majority wins.
Tribunal.
Basically, yeah, it's like a tribunal.
Okay.
You would also know that very much like old societies, you can request a trial by combat if you wish.
That's what I was thinking. Do I know at what point in that process I would have to ask for a trial by combat? Would it have to be immediately at the start, or could I try to play this out diplomatically?
It would be at the start. They would actually ask you.
All right.
Once you turn it down, you're not allowed to ask again. Basically,
I would. I guess I would explain that generally to Mote and kind of shrug in the direction of, do you want to talk or do you want to gamble a little bit more riskily?
I think the big question is honestly, who has, I'm sorry, remind me the name, is it Hikari? Mm-hmm. Is that the person that you're caring for? Okay. Mote asks, who abducted Hikari? Is it the government to get to you? And what do they want from you? I don't remember if you ever explicitly said why they're after you.
It's a political mess.
I'm gonna cut this short.
Yeah.
At then, when you're basically like ready to start answering,
Damn it.
you are racked by pain and
Joy.
this electricity kind of surging through you. Give me a, what is it, fortitude saving throw?
Can I tell if it's external or internal?
Seems internal.
Oh, joy. Joy of joy.
Welcome back to Shimrinsara. There's a lot of energy here. Enjoy. Buckle in. This might be a bumpy ride.
God, my rolls. 13.
All right. You, racked by pain, pass out. I am going to give you a thing much like Tetsu's earlier.
Oh, fun.
I'm going to allow you to read it. You, obviously, I want y'all to, like Tetsu's is a button. You'll probably have a little more roleplay attached to yours, but this is yours for the taking.
Okay.
Wait, what happened?
So, wait, what's the name of this thing? What's it called?
It should just be your name right now. You can
Oh,
call
yeah.
it whatever you want.
Okay. So
Does it have a cool name like Monk Boo Tooth Button or whatever?
The
I
Bluetooth
do
button.
love that. The Bluetooth button. So Aizen can now access the energy stored within him, sparked by his homeworld. This action is a full round action. The energy can be accessed only once per week. Oof. And can only be used to do one of the following. A, provide energy for a day for a large structure, a spaceship, a singular building, something like that.
Holy moly.
Provide energy for a week for a small structure or object, computer, pad, armor, etc.
Grace.
Use the energy to enact haste upon yourself for a level number of rounds, and cause all attacks to do an additional points of lightning damage, which is fantastic. Or number 4, immediately use the energy next round to cast the spell Lightning Bolt at a is that 1 minus level or?
Yeah.
For
It should be
casting
1
level?
minus level.
Upon the use of this energy, Aizen becomes shaken and flat-footed for 1 round.
That's
Ooh,
awesome.
Right.
that's gonna be fun.
Ooh, very cool.
So
But
many
you're
things.
passed out, so you're right.
I'm
On the-
in the middle of explaining and just boom, and then
Yeah, basically, like racked
it?
by pain. Probably a small, like small spark show slash. I don't know if Aizen would yell, but definitely a grunt. Like,
yeah.
Ah!
I think he does the thing where he moves to yell, but only static comes out of his mouth. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Oh, that's creepy.
Not like
like
The
it.
Shining, okay? You're the twins or whatever.
Mo's just sitting there going, Aizen? Aizen. Ring.
That was a really weirdly good static sound. What the fuck?
yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, we got Zeha.
Yes. Add a character real quick question. Have any of us, including myself, taken the time to look up and research Raya since arriving
I've been busy.
back?
I don't know who that is.
So Raya, okay, so when we looked through Jish's book or his comm unit, the information that we got was that his clients, all we got was Raya, who was a Lashunta. Or a Lashunta name anyways.
No.
And
no,
I think what would happen at some point, if I can stick this in somewhere, because I know we're all doing a lot, is it basically I'm like, wow, I can only have one person's name in my head at a time apparently. Arvin. When Arvin said that he had looked up what's her face and didn't find anything.
Yep.
I think it's gonna hit her like a day later or so, especially when she's kind of like organizing her stuff together. that perhaps Raya is worth looking into if we haven't. So what she's going to do is instead just go on a limb, and just so that this is not really like tracked, I'm just going to write try Raya on a note, like an actual physical written piece of paper, and get that over to Arvin.
Okay, so you're just gonna write the name down and like hand it to him, basically.
Yeah, and I think like in a way of like, try this name, Raya, and so he'll know.
For sure.
That should be enough for him to know.
Okay. Based on bringing up this information and kind of like the thought process, give me an intelligence check with Zeha.
Okay. 17. Not bad for a flat.
No, I like it. Definitely think you have a chance to be on the right track, if not just like on the right track. That said, that's as far as you can really go with like maybe this name, blah blah blah.
Right.
Aside from that, what gets you thinking is you write down the name Raya, right? And you take it to him. And it's like, hey, I need you to look this up. And it gets you thinking of like, how does Arvin and Taya know all this?
Know all what?
Like all the information, like they know about you searching people. Like the Romson 10.
Oh, yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. And through this thought, you kind of have this like trance-like state. Your headband glows for a moment, and you begin thinking, oh, obviously they were able to track my footprint in any of the networks that I was in. It would be great to stop that. Headband glows again. And I am going to give you your little thing that you can read.
Ooh.
Should just be your name.
Yeah. Okay, so, clearly I made my grandmother happy. Zeha gains minor access to the runes on her headband. During this time, her headband glows visibly and she feels connected, in one way or the other, with her grandmother. This action is a swift action, therefore cannot be used with the full round action. The action will last as long as the action that takes it... The action will last as long as the action that takes it, since the energy is spent during that action. That sentence confuses me.
Yeah, sorry. The action will last as long as the action it takes, since the energy is spent during that action. So basically to say, I was trying to find a way to word, if you're hacking something, you can use this for 6 rounds if that hack takes 6 rounds. Yeah, there you go.
This swift action can be used once per day and allows for one of the following. During a hacking check, immediately sense and stop a countermeasure. This does not rid the countermeasure, but essentially gives a free second check after knowing what the countermeasure is. Subsequent hacking attempt will be at a +2. During a diplomacy or performance check, the words seem to flow from Zeha's mouth, establish a desired outcome, and all rolls dedicated towards the outcome are at a +4 for the encounter. During combat, the next spell cast can be heightened 1 level higher than usually possible. If a spell cannot be heightened, it can be supercharged. See below. I'm going to skip down to supercharge real quick. You can add half the dice back to the damage of a spell. For example, Jolting Surge deals 4d6 electricity damage. If you supercharge it, it would become 66. Oh. And then during reconnaissance or information gathering that has to do with networks, like computers, cameras, etc., Zeha can erase her footprint left of the network. Essentially, she can ensure that no one can trace the reconnaissance back to her. This check must be unaided. That's so cool. I think Zeha considers this like she had a tough decision to make, and like she did what she for the first time. She wasn't like what her mom was telling her to do. She actually kind of made a decision outside of her mom to like almost hide from her mom and like take her own path forward, and then this. So I think she made her grandmother proud.
For sure. Yeah, but those thoughts come to your head. Your headband's kind of glowing. Obviously, you still take the paper about Raya and everything else to Arvin. Do you have anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, so I want to also just double check timing of everything, with given the conversation with Arvin and the fact that I'm going to be having a conversation with Tetsu. So I know I have a couple months left on my tempering, but I also know that, like, this is not something that can really wait, given, like, there's a lot of information unknown. So first of all, even let's say tomorrow, the Adari's convinced to leave. From what I know about the Adari, this kind of came to me on break, that I thought the ship was not ready to move. Like, that's like a huge endeavor.
Yeah. Give me a physical science check. I'm going to say give me you can have a +4 because of any kind of conversations you've had with Mote before.
Okay.
This is something Mote is fascinated with, is the drift and stuff, so.
It's a similar, by the way, physical science and engineering, but I'm just curious, would that not be engineering?
No. Okay. This is like the ability to move through space.
That's a 17. Plus
so
4.
21?
21, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thinking on it, you've heard Mote just like rambling about things, and in the passing of just like ramblings, and probably while y'all are in the drift, you've heard a line drop of, don't you think it's so cool that you can basically take any immovable object into the drift? So the requirements for drift travel is to have a drift engine installed and not be moving otherwise for 1 minute.
Okay. Interesting.
So while the Adari is not a capable moving ship, if they were to get a powerful enough drift engine, they could get into the drift and pop out somewhere else. They couldn't move once they got there.
Even with a engine? I guess is a drift engine only drift travel?
Yep.
Interesting. So, okay, so given that information, like that thought process from her, and then like the timing of everything, and knowing that it's not going to be an instant, like, oh, you're Madaloon now, I have to finish my tempering and do stuff. How long do I think I have here? Can I like wait for everybody to get back and then go? That kind of thing.
Assuming they made plans tomorrow, I wanted to get a drift engine installed and leave as quick as they could without ever telling you anything, you'd have a week. Obviously, that's highly unlikely. You'd think you probably have closer to a month to 3.
Zeha just wants to leave it.
Okay. Then for Zeha's purposes, she's going to make her plans. Get everything together for submitting information for like the tempering, so to speak. But you know, private networks and on her end, and simply kind of like let her mother know, like a general, like maybe back earlier than anticipated. We'll keep you updated.
Sure. You get a not lengthy response, but lengthier than it should be, of understood why. Like, understood you'll be back. Why?
Because the end is near.
Get a thumbs up.
Cool.
Best family ever.
Yep. All right, so then with that, like, basically I just wanted to thank you for Mystic for forgetting the name of the wolves den, because it made me take out my notes and made me realize we haven't looked up Raya. And then that's it. I'll wait for Tetsu to be available.
Okay.
Very important meetings.
Yeah, y'all may. Let's see. Let's go. I think we're gonna go Tetsu, Dr. Lin. We'll give Dr. Lin and Mote their stuff afterwards, and then we're probably wrapping up. So Tetsu, Dr. Lin.
Waffles, I already know mine's just going to be a normal vial of drugs that can be used
okay.
once to
Yeah, just
give me a
delete yours
dosage
right
of
now.
drugs. Oh no, please!
Approaching the building and like seeing the guard in, Tetsu's gonna kind of pull a Zeha and just walk straight into the building.
The guard has orders to pat you down and check you for weapons and take them
I'm sure
away.
he does. Yeah. Tetsu, pretty much as he approaches, is just going to, like, if he goes to pat him down, he's just going to grab him by like his shirt and just kind of like lift him up and walk him in and says, "We are going to talk to Dr. Lin."
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Lift it up. Taking it.
This guy's the worst.
I mean, he's been told to take guns from people, so he's trying to take guns, but then a lot of people aren't letting him, and he hasn't been told to shoot people on spot, so.
I agree. Tetsu agrees.
You could at least
Tetsu...
beat him a little bit, like, fight back.
Tetsu's just gonna walk in.
I don't think you hired a level 6 person that can contend with Tetsu or
I
Zeha.
did not, but I'm paying him good money to.
To pretend he's level 6.
Die for the cause.
Tetsu, he hits you for -1 damage.
I shatter his spine and...
Oh,
You press the Bluetooth button and just destroy him.
I don't need to press the Bluetooth
Now's
button.
a good time to test this button out.
Tetsu's just gonna walk in, look around the room, like seeing like the lab setup, and then like give this guy a shake and go, "Which one is Dr. Lennon?"
He points to a closed door.
He walks over, sets him
Dr.
down
Lin,
beside...
doesn't
sets him down by the door and just walks in.
Len does not respond, and when you walk in, he is sitting at his desk with both of his phones in front of him, and like his tentacles like pursed, like.
I shut the door behind me, and go.
I see you still have your weapons on you.
I am my weapon. I also have a gun, but that is for stunning.
Well, I think I may need to reconsider Dominic's position at this company, but it is good. It is good to see you, Tetsu.
Yes, it is. I'm glad to be back. I messaged Crick, and he said he was working with you.
Guaranteed
yes,
you
Crick and I are.
Yeah, for sure. You walk past.
Well, oh yeah, I probably just didn't notice, but yes.
Yes, Crick has. Well, he is under my payroll as part of this company. He's a good worker, a bit unruly, but he gets the job done. We're making we're making combat performance enhancers for private military companies.
Like when you say drugs at first, like he kind of like tenses up, like in a unpleased fashion, but like he kind of relaxes as you say combat enhancers and goes, that is better than it could be. I messaged Crick because I had business of my own that I think is oddly related to what you're doing. Are you
interesting?
Is this what the rest of the group is doing? Where are the others?
No, actually, no one else is helping me with this. Aizen and Mote are off at Shimrinsara, I believe it is.
Mote could be useful for us.
Yes, I believe Mote would be amenable. But there is a more pressing issue. Well, yeah, Aizen. He just doesn't seem. He probably doesn't know much about
He'll probably
chemicals.
be dead.
That too.
Yes.
Anyways, I would love to hear about whatever your issue is, but I have just received a very important business call from the Telos Corporation.
Bet Dr. Lin wishes that I was there to help.
They have gotten word that I've been engaging in some extra legal activities and have requested that I stop. Now, they are open for negotiations, but I do not know what this means. And then, like, he glances at his, like, normal phone, which he actually has, like, Zeha's contact information open. He takes it, turns it off, and puts it in his pocket. I'm going to need you, Tetsu, to serve as my intermediary to them because I do not wish to openly admit my connection.
Connection to them?
To this. I don't want to... Listen, I just need you to talk to Telos Corporation. I'll just be feeding you lines, okay?
My connection to Bloodbelly.
Dr. Lin, without going into details that you probably don't care about.
Oh, no, I certainly care.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of crime on Absalom, and one of the people in charge of a lot of it took Tibble hostage. I'm going to destroy everything that he has built and get Tibble free, or I'm going to kill him. One of those two things will happen. And the best way to do that is to do this. So, if you are creating combat-enhancing drugs for people that are needing
Combat
them,
enhancers.
sure. I don't think that is a terrible thing. So, you can tell the Telos Corporation to go to hell. We are going to continue this business, and we will deal with their not enjoying it when it comes along. Because I want Crick to help me deal with Kaz and his businesses. Are you opposed to growing?
No, I most certainly am not. Because, wait, have I heard of this CosCon from my market research?
No.
I have not heard. I've been performing some market research, and I've not heard of this Kaz. But I'm sure he goes by some sort of alias, as do I.
He does not, and that is a terrible alias.
No, it is not. It's intimidating. It's a...
Dr. Lin, CosCon deals with many gangs and legal businesses outside of on the shuttles around Absalom Station itself. And very likely has businesses here and elsewhere. It's very dangerous, very influential, and I very much want to deal with people like him. So we need to fix whatever you've got going on here because your guard just let me in.
It's really a shit. He let Zeha in similar fashion.
She can't even lift him.
I know. I don't understand how. He just let her in.
I have a presence. Okay.
And I told him specifically to take her gun away.
Well, I have to go talk to Zeha now because she's mad at you.
Can we settle this? Can we settle the Jellas stuff first? Can you talk
Sure.
to them for me? Thank you.
You just
Len
want
is
me to
going.
call them?
Yeah, on my drug phone.
On your Bloodbelly phone?
Tetsu picks up the phone and goes to recent calls.
Tell them you're calling on behalf of the Bloodbelly. and that you are open to... that you wish to hear what... Ask them why they are...
You want me to handle the call, or do you want to handle the call?
Ooh.
Okay, you handle the call. You handle the call.
And are you
Can't get over Bloodbelly.
on Bloodbelly?
Yeah, refer to me as... Okay, now just... Okay, refer to me as our mutual friend or something. You don't need to say Bloodbelly.
How about the doctor?
Sure, that's
It's
a
much better name than the Bloodbelly.
Well, okay. That's fine. You can call me the doc. You can call me the doctor.
Okay. All right, and as you get ready to call them Tetsu, that's where we're going to begin wrapping up.
Oh, God.
I want to get Dr. Lynn's and Mote's cool stuff out here real quick. Put a caveat on Mote's. It's going to take a little study time if Mote survives. But Dr. Lynn...
You get to know what you would have gotten.
That's true. And you'll be super happy about what you would have gotten. Dr. Lynn,
I got you.
here's
I
yours.
got you.
Feel free to read it out. Should be your name, Dr. Lynn.
Yeah.
I tried my best to
Dr.
make all these specific to y'all and stuff that like the players would like and the characters need. So.
Oh boy, I just skimmed this. Dr. Lynn learns how to concoct special combinations of biohacks, especially when considering combining a negative and a positive. Dr. Lynn learns how to combine different serums and drugs, or even viruses, to bring out the best or worst of both. This ability can be used as part of the action of creating his biohack, and used on any one character or enemy once per week. When used, the drug, virus, or serum will only provide the positives or negatives, pending what Dr. Lynn decides. For example, if combining a red-eye drug with a healing serum, you would not get the negative effects of a red-eye. The ability allows for the following. On a critical success, the applicant receives all benefits or negatives for the longest duration. On a success, the applicant receives all benefits or negatives for the time of the shortest duration. On a failure, the applicant receives all benefits and negatives regardless of the plan, and on a critical failure, improper mixing happens. The GM will decide the outcome. Dr. Lynn must have access to anything he's planning to combine when the combination of this biohack happens, and this uses any consumables as appropriate. Dr. Lynn cannot use this to combine two biohacks, and this must be used to combine a consumable and a biohack. What if I use it to combine a consumable in one of my already combined two biohacks, because I can do that normally?
No.
Okay, that's very cool, though.
I figured you'd like it. I figure we're going to have thousands of conversations about this. So. This is from your study into drugs and your own medicine and stuff like that. So
He's gonna min-max the hell out of that.
I'm sure he is. All right. Mote. Here comes yours. This is honestly one of the ones I was most excited for making and giving you access to. So.
Uh-oh.
Step 1 for
Mass
most
turns
training.
on and off.
There you go. Should be under the name Mote.
Mote gains the information to track things through the drift. This action can only be done once per day. Mote can spend 1 minute uninterrupted and make a computer or engineering check, unaided. This will essentially treat a level 2 or higher drift engine as a scrying orb, and give the ship the ability to do one of the following on success, or 2 on a critical success, provided the entity is smaller than a moon, warship, creature, ship, etc. That's really cool.
Was that all?
That's really good. What?
1. Do a long-range scan on the entity providing it is smaller than a moon. 2. Jump immediately to the vicinity of the current object being tracked. 3. Open a forced communication text line or send a one-way voice message. Or 4. Know where or if the entity will be leaving the drift.
What?
DC is dependent on what you're attempting to track at the GM's discretion. And on failure, your drift engine overloads and drift travel cannot be used for 1d4 hours. On a critical failure, your drift engine immediately becomes in need of repair from a bay mechanic.
Oh my god.
You did have an idea in prison.
I did. I got some ideas, boy.
Yo.
So, I also am curious. I assume that this cannot be done. Well, can this be done while we're already traveling in the drift? So, for example,
From within the drift.
we're traveling through the drift, and I want to track something. Like we want to get next to some person or thing we're tracking, and we want to port next to them as our idea. Then we fail the drift.
Something I
check.
didn't consider, but my immediate thought is yes, but it's going to be like gaining route access. It's going to be a plus 20 to the DC.
Okay, that makes sense, because this definitely feels like, especially with the whole drift travel cannot be used for 1d4 days. Like if that happens while we're drift traveling, that would be like.
Yep. Yes, chilling.
That's like Star Trek, like when the ship coming after Khan catches up.
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. Or
They
like
can't catch us. Oh shit!
Loki being kicked out of the Bifrost.
Yeah.
All right. We got Tetsu about to make a call. I think Zeha's kind of in limbo, but definitely wants to speak to Sana.
And Tetsu.
Dr. Lin. And Tetsu, yeah. Dr. Lin is going to develop thousands of drugs, because that's all Dr. Lin wants to do. And Mote and Aizen are locked up together, considering trial. And they're all level 7 as we end the session.
Great.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Yay.